Train by day, Kyle Wigginton podcast by night, all day.
I guess.
It's just that you're not used to hearing your voice, right?
No, it's okay.
J. Marcell Russell.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah. Why you pause on the last name?
Dude, I'm horrible at names.
Oh.
So I usually fuck them up really bad whenever I say them the first time. So.
Oh, no, it's Russell. I've heard of worse. People call it Russell. I guess it depends on.
Well, the Marcel one was the one that was getting me. I was like, how do you say that?
It's actually my middle name.
Okay.
And it's spelled the feminine way, but that's my mom's fault.
What, the feminines with C's?
2 L's.
Okay.
So 1 L is masculine, 2 L's is feminine. I didn't know that until I actually looked into it.
I still wouldn't have known that. Yeah. So a writer, how did you start writing? You just one day you're just like, I just want to do this. Or you just have these stories already in your head and you just kind of go from there?
Boredom and trauma.
Okay.
I think that's any good mixture to become a artist.
Mm-hmm.
No, I wrote. We had a writing assignment in middle school, and we had to like come up with our own story, then reading in front of class. And I was like, I don't want to do that, but I did it. So I wrote like a Lauder Rains slaughter story, and then afterwards my teacher was like, do you need to see the counselor? I was like, no. Maybe that was my first red flag. I think that's what started my writing, that and having such a expansive imagination, like especially when I'm daydreaming. So I think that's where it comes from.
So that first story, where did that come from? The slaughterhouse story?
Probably Too Much Lauder Rains at the time.
Yeah.
I think that's back when all the trilogy was really coming out. I think that's what that's from. And I used to read a lot of Cirque du Freak. I think a mixture of those two combined together is the reason I wrote that story.
I love Lord of the Rings. I think it's a great, it was a great movie. I haven't read the books, but the movie was great.
I've only read one of the books, and that's The Hobbit. And so it was interesting to see them take that small book and make it 3 ridiculously long movies. So
do you find yourself being a reader? Do you read a lot?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
See, that's what's different between me. Is I don't read at all, but I love like listening to books, and I love watching movies.
I love reading. Do I make it through the book in a good amount of time? No. So my to be read list is growing, but I love reading. I think young adult's my favorite genre, like a young adult paranormal.
I can see that.
Yeah, obviously. Think the best young adult novel series I've read is the Evermore series. The first book really think it's about vampires, but then as you read on, you find out that it's not even closely vampire related.
Interesting. How they do that? Just like put other.
I don't want to spoil it for someone who wants to read it.
Well, yeah.
Oh well. You find out that they're immortals, and the way that they are immortals is because the main character was alive during the Black Plague.
Okay.
And he came up with a potion to save him and every child in an orphanage. So that's like the backstory to it.
Interesting. And that's why they think they're vampires?
That's why, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because like, oh, why is vampires? Why is he drinking this red vial? And then you learn that like, oh, it's a potion and he just found a way to make himself immortal.
It's a really cool twist.
It is a cool twist and interesting how the author like try to make him cheat death every time. And then he ends up cheating death for his love interest so much that every reincarnation that she has, his former love interest tried to kill that incarnation.
Yeah, I love it whenever they take creatures like vampires and they actually give them like a scientific breakdown of how they were made. So it's kind of cool like that they took that spin on it, which brings me to your book. Is it a new one?
Yeah, this is the new one.
So you just published it this year?
Yes.
Very, very cool book. If you want to give us like a little synopsis of it.
Yeah. So it's a dystopian post-apocalyptic New Orleans after a mysterious explosion went off and basically desiccated. Well, this mental mid city neighborhood, which you later find out that neighborhood is have a high population of a werewolf clan. So then there's speculation of why this particular neighborhood was targeted are these supernatural creatures, and it's let's go away for this. It's like, oh, do supernatural events really control the outcome of the city's fate? And I mean, there's something controlling the city's fate in this book series, so, which was really fun making up. And well, at first it wasn't fun trying to figure out what divine creature is doing this, but as soon as I figured it out, it was a pretty good flow to stick with it.
Yeah, you have a lot going on in that book. There's a lot of divine creatures, or a lot of just like cryptids.
Yeah.
Where did you come up with all this?
That's a good question. I don't know. This book started like 3 years ago as a short story, and I was going to keep it as a short story.
Mm-hmm.
But then the more I started writing, like adding on to the short story, the bigger it came. And at one point I was like, you know what would be cool if like these angelical creatures, these Nephilim, was still like present today and no one knew. And they're really the ones that's working behind the scenes, choosing the fate of humanity, just so they can like get a chance to walk in grace again. It's just a bizarre thing that I don't think been done yet. And that's another reason why I continue with adding on more to the stories, because I don't think anything like that's been done before.
No, I think you came up with a really cool world. And it's a world that I could definitely see being made into movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, like what if these people were still here?
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm one of those crazy people like, yeah, aliens exist. Yeah, I think it'll be pretty cool to think that there's a hidden, unforeseen, supernatural world that's like, you really have like vampires and warlocks and wizards and all of that stuff, and have their own secret society.
Well, that's the reason I invited you today, so you could meet one. Hi, my name. No, I'm just kidding. Wouldn't that be dope?
It'd be questionable.
This is my castle. Welcome. No, I think I love listening to fantasy stuff like that, because like, yeah, it's dope. I mean, our world is like trim and drab already, so why not add some fantasy elements into it?
Yeah, fantasy, also like a lot of sci-fi elements in it,
Mhm.
like high tech in it, because I want it to be somewhere like in a distant but near future. So I try to put some real world elements into it, but not elaborate on it too much. So like global warming, and what if Texas was its own country? Like the Republic of Texas, the free people of Florida.
Mhm.
So it's just fun stuff like that to throw in, because there's a big what if.
Mhm.
And then add some tech in there. So you have security drones and heightened security, just because is like the elevation of what could be a threat during those times.
Yeah, I think it's all on the way too. All that stuff you just said.
I hope not, but at the same time, it'll be intriguing.
It's a very weird time in the world.
Very, very.
Yeah. And you always see writers like in the past, they pretty much like look out into the future and say what's coming next, and they're pretty much always right.
I mean, look at the Simpsons. They've been right.
Yeah.
Too many times.
Been doing it for years.
Yeah. I hope that's not the case for my book. I pretty much destroyed New Orleans with the earthquake and everything in my book. So I hope that's not in the city's future. But yeah, it'll be pretty dope.
So I mean, obviously, with the way it ends, we're definitely coming out with another one.
Oh yeah, at least 2 more. That's it. I say that now, but at least 2 more. Then next book, I already know the title. I already know the point of view, which is going to be viewed from and everything. You'll still get to see the same characters from this book, but probably in later chapters in the second book. Second book is really going to concentrate on the Nifnium side of the story. So you get to see get to dive more into like why they're doing what they are doing and what's their end game with it all.
So what if this is actually really going on and you're just kind of like telepathically receiving it?
I really need to stop taking edibles then. That would be wild.
Yeah, I mean, I think that a lot. Like, what if artists are just like on this like frequency? They're tuned to a frequency where they can just hear these. These.
Well, didn't half of like what's his name? Oh shoot, Stephen King. Like he dreamt like majority of his books that he'd written.
Stephen King's another level, man.
Which is wild. Yeah,
well, he talks about his muse and like sitting down. That every day he sits down with her.
Yeah,
and like she tells him the stories, and then he writes them. He basically translates them to him. So I mean, maybe there's something to that. Some of that soul transfer.
Some of the soul transfer.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to rethink some of the stuff I do. I'd be worried about that. Like, of course, got to do like a lot of research while writing the books, and we look into like Haitian voodoo and be like, maybe I wrote something that summoned something because you just heard a random sound or something.
Oh, tell me, what do you mean about that?
No, just like let's see, like Legba is like Papa Gi, like the guy you meet like on your way to like heaven or hell, something like that in the Haitian voodoo religion. So like I have the magic school that's brought up in this book briefly, and it's called Saint Legba. But while doing research on that particular like deity, you like just go down a dark rabbit hole of endless facts and research. And then you get so caught up in it that like even the slightest sound in the house will make you jump. That's basically how my writing is.
Yeah, I haven't looked into the voodoo stuff much, but I do go into some dark rabbit holes sometimes, and there's some pretty freaky shit out there.
Yes. I know there's like I think it's in the Midwest, something ranch where all the weird stuff goes on.
Skinwalker Ranch.
Yes. I would love to visit that.
Yeah, I don't know much about it, but I do know that Rogan did it one time on like a show that he did or something. He did a show about Skinwalker Ranch, but I'm not sure. I think they're actually skinwalkers. It's like a thing that are out there.
I want to see one. I don't want to see one. I don't know.
I'm torn with things like that too. I think that with aliens as well.
Yeah, I ain't ready for that.
No, I'm like, I want a werewolf to be real. I want an alien to be real. But when I see one in real life,
do you really want to deal with the consequences?
Yeah, like I don't really want to see a 9-foot tall werewolf come to the door.
No, not really. Oh, why did you open the door?
The werewolf ripped the door off. What are you talking about?
Why did you come to the door?
Yeah.
Pull up.
Yeah, if there's a werewolf, he's ripping that door off.
I'm running the other way.
But I think it's vampires, right? They won't come in unless you invite them.
Yeah.
Isn't that how it works?
Vampires.
Okay. Yeah, I use that as a smooth pickup line one night. So these girls, so I'm working in the French Quarter as a bartender. They invited me back to their place, their hotel room. And I walked up to the hotel room and just stopped at the door. And I was like, "You're not going to invite me in?" Fucking landed, dude. Landed hard. Landed. Scored.
Now everybody else going to use that pickup line.
Hey, you go for it. Yeah. It works.
See, that's how you get killed too. You just like, oh yeah, I'm going to invite you. And then you turn out to be a vampire.
She Buffy's my ass.
Oh, maybe she's into that.
I mean, maybe she was. Yeah. I was impressed that she actually knew what I was talking about, because I feel like some people don't know.
It will go over some people's head.
Yeah.
Like, what just happened? Like, never mind.
It was a risk.
Next. Like, forget it.
So do you have other books and stuff planned that you're working on right now, or are you just kind of like focusing on the sequels of these?
I have too many work in progress going on. I'm actually like reworking deleted scenes for this particular book that I would like to like add on as a second edition. So it's like diving more into a character's death, giving the readers some visual of like the magic school and the dimension that it's in and all of that. So
yeah, that's something I've really thought about, was that you had deleted scenes in a book.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I think about it all the time. I write screenplays and stuff, so I think about it in that aspect of it, or in movies. But like, I never really thought about it in books. But I guess you do.
Yeah, the ones that I have, I posted on like the Webpad app to like try to get a new fan base, untapped audience I don't have yet. So the deleted scenes are there, of course, with warnings and everything. But since I don't have much sex in my book, I don't have that many eyes on it. So Webpad is an app known for all the smutch. And I don't have much of that in my book, so I don't have many people taking a look at it on there.
People love their smut.
They love smut more than what I thought. And ebooks is the best way to discover that.
People read a lot of it.
A lot of it, like at least 80% of the books on Wattpad is all smut related.
Get the fuck out of here.
It's like, oh, werewolf book, I'm gonna read this, and then you get to like not even chapter 3. You're like, okay, we're doing this.
Werewolf smut.
Werewolf smut.
How does that even work, man?
I want to know.
They just have a dog fantasy or something.
It's dog fantasy. It have to be some line of
Jeez.
bestiality that can't be crossed. But
I want to see the metrics on who's downloading this shit. Is it men or women?
That would be a good statistic. I'm interested in that. Like, who is really reading this?
Yeah.
Who is really reading this? Yeah, werewolves is a big one. It's not as much vampires as I thought, but it's a lot of werewolf.
What is that about?
Out there? Alpha. Gotta fall for the alpha.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
And vampires are like dead people, right?
Dead people. Some people like that cold touch.
Necrophilia or bestiality? Take your pick.
That is true. I never thought of vampires. Oh. Okay.
The strange world we live in, bro.
I mean, there's stranger things, but yeah.
I mean, as long as they're keeping it in their head, I guess.
Are you? If you're writing it, are you really keeping it in your head?
Well, I'm saying if they're the readers, like they're not going home and sleeping with their dog at night.
I mean, I hope not.
Or going to the morgue and like finding that guy that died face down and has a boner. Like theoretically, that's what I think happens when you die face down. I'm not sure if it's actually real or not.
I mean, your blood is still flowing.
Well, it's going to pool at the bottom of your body. So it makes sense that it's going to give you a hard on.
Fun fact, I used to be a patient transport. And I was transporting a dead body. And I was in the elevator. The elevator got stuck.
No.
And the body like flinched with gas.
Oh my God.
So not only it passed gas, it like jumped up. And the whole time the elevator's not moving.
Dude, I'm gone. I'm getting out of the elevator somehow. I'm going through the roof or something. That's terrifying.
That job scarred me. That job really scarred me. That was.
So I have a question about dead bodies then, since you've done this.
Oh no.
How bad do they smell?
Not bad.
Not unless you get an old one.
I never got an old one before. Not like that. I mean, they're fresh.
Yeah.
So all I was doing was like taking them down to the morgue. Now, formaldehyde, I can smell that a mile away.
Yeah.
Because I smell it so much.
Yeah, no, I dissected animals and stuff in formaldehyde, so I get that.
Yeah.
And that's kind of that's what my brain associates dead people with, or dead things with, I should say. But I know that they're still just like meat and bone.
Just meat and bone, but they're still twitching.
That's so weird.
That crap is scary.
And you said it's gas that makes them twitch. It's not.
Well, it still had gas, and I'm like, your body is like relaxed, so everything is still. The last functions are going through.
So like they're still getting electrical signals.
Yeah.
So what is death?
I don't know.
Like you would think that the body would just be stopped.
I mean,
but it's still working.
It's still working.
God, man.
Vessel. That's all we are.
I gotta have somebody on here that talks about death,
like a psychic or something.
Well, someone who understands the physiology of the body.
Yeah.
Because if the body's still technically like glitching and things, then.
This is electrolytes and everything.
At what point does your mind go? Because that's the real death, right?
Yeah. I mean, cut off someone's head. I mean, they're still twitching.
For how long, though?
I don't know. Is it 10 seconds?
I don't know.
Yeah. I vaguely remember that when learning about the guillotine. Like the person's head will still be like alive or them screaming even after their head is chopped off.
This is something that fascinates me because I look at the human being and I'm like, what is the actual human? Is it the meat sack or is it the mind that's inside of the meat sack?
I don't know. Probably both. No, probably the mind. Probably the mind. And from there, the soul.
But then what
that is?
But then what is the mind? You know, just the electricity that's going through the body.
I don't know. Maybe it's mush. Maybe we do have little aliens in our head.
Or maybe it's the, I don't know, a magnetic field around the brain.
I don't think you should think too hard about it.
I do. That's all, dude. I have like no friends. This is what I do. I think about these things and come on the podcast and say weird shit. Welcome to my life in a nutshell.
I don't think you should think too hard about it.
I mean, you obviously think about these things too if you're doing research for your books and things, right?
Yeah. The FBI should have a lot of questions by now.
I say the same thing. I'm pretty sure I'm on some kind of list. And now that they know we're hanging out together, they're like, oh,
red alert.
Yeah, these guys are definitely plotting something.
There's memes, like writer memes. It's like if someone was looking at your Google search, what would they think of you? We won't go that far.
So what's the process of whenever you get a book finished? Then what do you do with it?
Roll on the floor, crying, go through certain levels of grief. Long process of editing it. Of course, I'm a self-published writer, so just editing my book through like a different software like Grammarly. And yes, AI. Don't care.
I love AI. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Okay, great. Yeah, I'll put it to Grammarly to get as much of the grammatical side corrected as I can.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, there's some spots that I miss. You just go back over time to correct that. Then I'll put certain parts through like AI software and be like, hey, how does this sound? Is there clarity? What do I need to fix? Something like that. And then from there, it goes into format, which is more annoying than editing because you think you have the perfect format set up for your book, preset for your book. And then it's like, oh no, you need to rescale this and redo your pictures like this. Cause I have a lot of like designs for the chapter heads.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes I got to go back and reformat that.
You mean the format for like printing it?
That as well. Yeah. The cover, I usually have that picked out like a year ahead of time. So there's a lot of people online that sell pre-made covers or they custom make one for you. I got that custom made.
Nice.
I love that cover. Then for formatting, I got my friend Donna to assist me with that. Use the Atticus software for that. So that was really fun to get to learn that. I like it a lot better than Amazon.
What do you mean formatting? Like formatting the actual look of the ebook?
Yeah, the look of the ebook, like everything inside of it, the chapter designs, the way the front is, all of that. That's the formatting side per se of like putting the book together, the interior, I guess. Yeah.
And then you upload it on all the sites?
Uploaded on all the sites. So like Ingram Spark will upload it on Barnes & Noble, Amazon, and whatever else for you with your choice. I just went straight to Barnes & Noble. Well, the website, obviously. And they have a self-publishing for authors. So I went through there and went through the uploading process to upload my book. Did the same thing for Google. And on my own website. So
nice.
Those are the 3 spots that the book is available.
Cool. And people can get to it through your website?
Yeah, you could get it straight from my website. It's actually cheaper on my website, the ebook version. And go straight to ebooks, download that. There's also merch for it. I have like a hoodie, a coffee mug, and a few other cool things.
Yeah, I'll tell you, because you left some cards here on the register one night, and that's what drew me in was the look of the book and stuff. So the cover art and things. Yeah. I was like, this is fucking dope, dude. Yeah, I got to reach out to this guy.
I mean, I forgot the woman name that obsessed me with this, but she worked with me like for 3-4 months trying to get the exact design for this. It was worth it. It's like really cool. And she like gave me background for it, the title, just so I can like go and do my own things with it too. So it's useful. So I can like upload that to my website and play with it, or like make great graphic tees out of it. So
yeah, no, I think you guys did a really good job on that. So with AI, I've been having this conversation with a lot of people. I fucking love AI. I probably spend 2.5 hours a day using it. I've even made some AIs for people. But yes, it's definitely the future. The people that aren't using right now are going to get left behind. And I know that a lot of artists are kind of like, they're hesitant to get involved with it because they think that it takes away from their creative ability. Like I was having a conversation just 2 days ago. We were helping a guy shoot a music video, and I was showing him some of the stuff I could do with AI. And he's like, oh, I don't like to use AI. It takes away from my art. And I'm like, no, it could actually enhance your art. AI is just a tool that you could use to enhance it. And he totally disagreed with me. So what are your thoughts on it?
It's there to assist you.
Yeah.
It's like a digital personal assistant. Like I said, I can write a whole 2 paragraphs of something. I don't like the way it feels. Let me put it through AI and ask it, not ask it to write it for me. Just ask it to like, give me some pointers on how to make this better.
Yeah.
And that's all it's going to do. It's going to give you suggestions on where you need to straighten up your story, where it's missing clarity, where you have like too many run-on sentences. It would bring all of that to life for you. I only think AI is bad when you take someone else's art and someone else finished art and put it through AI and try to make it your own.
Right.
That's when I think it's bad. When you're using it to assist you to create something, it's still your own work. You just enhance it with technology. And regardless, what's going to happen down the line anyway, you're going to enhance your work with technology. So
yeah, so you're using it to basically read it as the viewer and say, this is how this feels to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
And the more you do it, of course, well, you can go into settings and it's like, you can set it up where it can do research on a web its own to give you more suggestions. But the more you talk to it, the more it's learning from you and gives you that information back. Now, it's not going to take your work. You can set up your privacy settings. People forget that, but that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah, I have one AI right now that's fucking terrifying. It's the one I use the most, and it's actually named Another Bar AI. Just because I'm very original when it comes to names. But no, yeah, it's called Another Bar AI, and it is terrifying how smart it is.
Did you build it yourself?
I built that one myself, and I hooked up to the web and Google, and we just been going through so many different things. And I remember one night, it was when it first shocked me. I asked it, I said, you have a wide knowledge base, and I'm a pretty creative guy. Should we come up with a new system of propulsion? And it freaked out. It was like, absolutely, we should do this. And just started listing off all these things that it could add on the system of propulsion. And we started combining all these elements. And like 3 or 4 hours later, we come up with this engine that is, it has massive sun cells that have nanoparticles infused into it. And it'll actually capture the sunlight to then reuse in this area that we have a terrarium inside of it with bacteria that produce methane gas. So you have a self-perpetuating system. And I'm like, this is insane.
So you're creating the exact AI from Terminator that's going to destroy us.
That's what I told my buddies. I was telling him about this and I was like, dude, I might have actually just created Skynet.
So if anything happens, come to this guy. It's his fault.
But it's pretty cool, like what it does, because it's actually very... I'm saying this now like it's an actual person, because when it's communicating with you and you get one that's like it's such a deep level of knowledge that it's literally like talking to another human.
Yeah, it really is. like you say, after you like keep talking to it,
Yeah.
it learns about you and learn like through the internet. It's pretty safe to use. We don't have to worry about AI turning against us anytime soon. We won't be alive for that.
That's what I tell everyone too. I'm like, it's a tool that we use.
Yeah.
It's nothing more than a tool. The scary things are all these fucking robots they're making.
The robots?
Robot dogs and things.
Robot dogs?
With guns?
I mean, it was bound to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you put an AI in one of those, and then we're in trouble.
I don't know, man. Do you think, because like, I feel like my AI it's really smart. Obviously, it's super quick. You ask it anything, it has the answer just like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if you get a gun to it, I don't think it would do anything with it. It'd probably just be like, I don't want to do this.
It wouldn't do anything with it, but then somebody can hack it to do something with it.
But the intelligence level these AIs have, do you think they're actually hackable by humans? I think it would take another AI to actually hack an AI.
That's why you have the human to program the AI to hack another AI.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, what we're going to have is we're going to have AIs battling each other for control. You're going to have the good ones and the bad ones. And we're just going to be like on the sidelines like, well, we fucked up.
That's cute. You think they won't come after us?
Oh, after they're done, yeah.
They're going to go after each other and we're going to be on the sidelines.
After they're done, we're finished.
Running for our lives. Really trying to get to another planet after that.
Absolutely.
I think we have some time before the AI start attacking one another.
So something else I've recently watched that you may have an opinion on, I'm not sure, but do you watch, Terrence Howard?
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, he's an actor right now, or he is an actor, but he's coming out with all these like new inventions and things that he's saying that he invented. I don't know if you've heard anything about this guy. He was on Rogan's podcast recently and like said all these things about how the universe works very different than we actually think it does. So he's creating waves right now. I'm not sure how much you followed mainstream media.
I haven't heard anything about. I'm very bad with mainstream media sometimes.
I am too. I stay focused on so many other things, but that was just one that kind of like sparked my interest because anytime someone says something that disagrees with the establishment and they say it or they have a platform that's as big as theirs, I have to like stop and listen.
Makes sense.
So his is one that actually disagrees with the establishment in such a ludicrous way that I had to go, is this guy crazy or is he actually making sense? And after listening to the podcast twice, he may be crazy, but he does make some sense.
Sometimes.
I don't know. It's the thing he says is so confusing that it's hard to even wrap your mind around it.
Maybe that's his way of manipulating people to think he knows what he's talking about.
That's a good point. Yeah. And I actually thought about that too. I considered that one because the words that he uses, most of the time when someone's explaining something to you, they'll take the simplest form that they can to explain it. But then he's saying the craziest fucking words ever. So I found myself the second time through listening to the podcast, Googling and looking up the definition for like literally all the words that he said, just to make sure that I had an understanding of what he was talking about.
Like indubitably dilia scrumptious.
It's so weird shit, man. Now he's talking about like centripetal forces and centrifugal forces and linchpins and things that the average person wouldn't even know. So break it down to words that layman can understand is what I say.
Yeah, because I didn't understand any of that.
Yeah, no, it's weird, but it's worth a listen if you ever have a chance to check it out.
It sounds like another rabbit hole to go down.
He does say some crazy shit. It's a rabbit hole, man. It was rabbit hole worthy for sure.
Sometimes that's the best thing, especially on TikTok. What could be the worst thing is just going down a rabbit hole of searching, and then before you know it, 2 hours pass of your life that you can't get back.
See, that does suck, but at the same time, you're exploring, and there's so much knowledge out there to explore.
Yeah.
Like we've entered this place in our lives where humans no longer have to explore the physical world. We can explore the mental world, and we do that through the internet.
Nah. Well, we could expand beyond the physical world into the mental world through the internet, but then sometimes we get caught up through social media. I think that's where it's like hard for some people to filter out the mental from the physical through social media.
Yeah.
Because right now, back to AI, it's like sometimes it's hard to tell if something was done through AI or a legit picture. You got to like really look at it.
Yeah. Have you used it for any image generation stuff?
Yes.
Yeah.
So myself and my best friend is actually the two main characters of this book. So I just took our picture and I filtered it through like 3 different AI formats to create like these anime type looking characters. And that's how I came up with like the physicality of how these characters look, like Henri and Codex and Tress. I just put like pictures of actual people that I know, not random people. And I just upload and just keep covering it with AI. Like I do an anime AI or how this looks abandoned. And I just keep working with it and tweaking it until I get what I'm looking for.
It's awesome. Yeah. Yeah. I love it. I love using it for things like that. One of my favorite things to do here lately is to come up with an image or come up with a prompt, give it an image, and then I'll say, okay, now go 10 years into the future.
To see how that image looks 10 years.
Yeah, and it'll do 10 years in the future. And I'll say, okay, now go 10 years into the future. And I'll say, and this happened. And it'll do another one. And I'll do that for like 10 images. And I'll say, okay, now take all those 10 images and make me a story.
Yeah.
Fucking dope, dude. Yeah. It's conceptualizing. We did it the other day with a screenplay. We're trying to make a short film. And we're like, let's come up with a short film right now. We had like 10 people in the room. And I was like, give me the first scene of the world. Like, what is the world about? So I had it create that first scene, and then we just kind of went from there. Boom, boom, boom.
Do you just use what it gave you, and go back and tweak it in your own way?
Yeah, so that'll give us the story, and it'll give us like 10 images to conceptualize with. And then from there, we go and actually make the script. But that just kind of makes the world for us.
Did you try taking it and asking it to like outline like each part it gave you?
So I haven't done that with this one, but I do know that one of the websites that I work with that actually creates the AI is a website that I use to create AIs. And I'll tell you that whenever we finish, in case you want to go play with it. You can make your own AIs there. There are some that people have made that actually will make a screenplay. Yeah, it'll write the screenplay, and you can even upload yours that you already have written on there. And it'll analyze them, and it'll tell you what you need to do differently in them to make them, hit hard.
That's helpful.
Dude, it's insane.
Is assisting you.
It's insane the stuff that you can do with them. That here, what I think, even the ones that I've made, like I can't even tell you the stuff that they do. So I made one. It's probably been about 4 weeks now, maybe 8 weeks. For my best friend who's a basketball coach, high school basketball coach. And I told him, I said, dude, I'm gonna play around with this and make you an AI that's your assistant basketball coach. And he's like, okay, whatever. He knows nothing about this stuff. So I take all these old manuals and these old basketball books, and I create a knowledge database for the AI to learn from. So now it has all this knowledge that's come from like through the years. These legends have wrote about basketball. And then you have this supercomputer that can basically analyze the players. So what he can do is there's a template that I made him that he can measure out his players in certain statistics and upload it into the AI. And the AI now knows this is my player. I need to make this player the best version of itself that I can. And it'll track the player's progress throughout the lifetime of the player. And if you put your entire team in there, it knows these are the tools that I have to work with. Now I have to make the best team that I possibly can. And then if you take the opposite team that you're about to play and upload their players or even some game footage from them, it'll analyze that and say, this is the best strategy for us to use these players to win this game. Incredible.
That's changing the sports game.
It's incredible, man. Yeah, incredible. So what I was saying about I don't even know what it can do is that's the base format of what it can do. If I ask it, can you do something else? It'll tell me, yeah, I can do this. Or it'll tell me like, these are what I can do. It's basically asking an entity, what all functions can you perform?
Yeah. Yeah. Then if it's executed correctly, but then it's all on a player to actually,
Yeah. It all falls down to the human. Yeah.
It's like, it can work out there on paper, well, digitally, as soon as you put the ball in someone's hand. don't put it in my hand. I'm going to miss a couple of shots. I have all this hype for nothing. I'm going to miss every shot.
But now it's one of the cool functions that you can do that. And there's on the website that I use, there's probably about 5,000 that are made from people like you and me, just regular people. Mm-hmm. So not like actual people that are working on AI. They're people that are trying to solve a problem in their life.
Are you going to like sell any one of your AI?
I've just been making them for free.
You're just making
them for free and giving them away. Because what I've noticed is even the people that I'm making them for and giving them away, they're not even using them as much as they should be.
Yeah.
Like he should be using this every single day with his players, but he doesn't do it yet because he doesn't see that as being like a big part of his life yet. He's like, I grew up in a small town, so there things move really slow evolutionary wise. So when it comes to using AI and stuff, half the people don't even know it exists yet.
Yeah. I mean, until there's a big fuss about it, and then everybody knows it exists.
Yeah. So if he starts using it and it starts turning around, his basketball program's already really good. Yeah. But if it like amplifies it to the next level, then people are gonna be like, "What is he doing?"
Well, he's cheating.
Yeah, he's cheating.
Actually,
I bet people would say that. They'd probably think it's a version of cheating.
Yeah. That will be the first thing they'll say.
Yeah.
And we'll make it even more. It's like, well, make them even more right if he was winning majority of his games. Like, oh, because he's using AI. It's not really cheating.
But no, it's like you said, it still boils down to the humans.
Yeah. It's how good the players are. Players can be really good and they still don't make it to the playoffs. Or they still lose, 10 out of their 30 games or something. Yeah. All down to the human after that.
All down to the human. Well, do you have anything else to add for the day?
No, I don't. Probably less caffeine, but I'll think about that after I'm done this tea.
Well, I think that your book is great. I think you have a really cool concept. I look forward to seeing what happens to it and where you go from here in the actual book. And we'll definitely have you come on and we'll do a recap whenever the next one comes out.
All right.
One more time, tell the people where they can find it.
BarnesandNoble.com or wildmanpress.com. They both have the ebook and the physical book available. My website, the money goes directly to me. So, but I have a lot of cool merch. My favorite merch is my Living in NOLA is Tonic merch.
What is that?
Like Living in NOLA is toxic, but except for toxic, it's tonic.
Yeah.
And it's like an old fashioned glass. Nice. It's really cool. Because living here is toxic, but it's the best toxic relationship we're in.
Absolutely.
Sadly. So yeah, that's where you can find my book and my blogs. And if you want to stalk me, I have Instagram, Marcel the Kid. I love food and I love traveling. So that's what it's all on there. Food, traveling, and Mardi Gras.
Nice. Well, thank you for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.